What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, I want to remind you guys, as always, that if you're watching this video and looking at my channel and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Too Raw for TV. If you haven't hit that notification button, hit that little bell so that you'll be notified of any video that drops on my channel as soon as it drops. And also, if you like or at least appreciate the content on my channel, please hit the like button. This will help not only my channel, but also other channels that you're subscribed to in the LDBC, the Lions Den basketball community, be that much better. Now, I want to give a couple of shout outs. I saw your comment, LM, and you were right. I wanted to wait until I was doing a video where it was relevant. You were pretty much the only person saying that you suspected that Kawhi Leonard was injured and that people were the Clippers organization, the Raptors organization, prior, Kawhi Leonard, Doc Rivers, maybe the NBA, were hiding that Leonard was injured, and that has been verified by the NBA just the last couple of days. So I gotta give you your props on that one. All right. I also want to give a shout out to Daryl Sloan Coleman for his donation to the channel. I saw it just now. Thank you for your donation to the channel. And thanks anybody that has donated to my channel. If you want to donate to Raw for TV, you can do so in the links provided in the description box below via the PayPal or the Cash App. And I just put a video up on Patreon about that piece of shit that most likely murdered that young girl, that student, man. Like I said, I don't really talk about stuff on YouTube, but for only $2 per month on YouTube, I talk about stuff. If you subscribe and want to support me on Patreon, I talk about stuff that I can't talk about on YouTube. And I talk in a certain way I can't talk on YouTube. Now, Chris Bosh, former NBA player with the Toronto Raptors and the Miami Heat, won a couple of championships with LeBron James, said recently that he still believes at this stage in LeBron James' career that he's a slightly better player than Kawhi Leonard. I'm reading from the article. The article is from IB Times, IBT. I'll put a link to the article in the description box. It goes on to say that retired NBA star Chris Bosh wasn't only just a former Toronto Raptor like Leonard and a former Miami Heat like James. Aside from playing for the old teams of both NBA superstars, Bosh was also one of those who played side by side with James during the peak of the Kings' career. In his exclusive interview with Complex, Bosh ranked his top 10 best NBA players today. According to the legendary forward, James and Leonard are the top two players in the league. He also emphasized that it doesn't really matter who sits on the number one spot between the two. However, Bosh is convinced that James is still the most talented player in the NBA despite his age. It don't really matter, but yeah, when asked if James tops his list. If you're still asking if he's the best player and he's 35 years old, then he's the best player. All right. Because he's going to be rejuvenated. I think he has a very complete team. The article goes on to say statistically, James and Leonard don't really have too much differences. However, Leonard has defeated James 13 times in 21 meetings, winning 6 of 9 regular season games and 7 of 12 postseason matchups since 2012. But James has a bit of a scoring edge, outscoring Leonard in both the regular and postseason. James also is more likely to get the assists, averaging nearly 4 more helpers per game. When the two square off, Leonard, meanwhile, is more likely to sink his free throws, making 83% of his attempts compared to just 70% for Leonard during the for James during the regular season. It's going on just talking about stats and whatnot. In terms of three-point shooting, the pair has put the same numbers. Leonard has completed 34% of his three-point attempts. James, 36%. This is the thing, though. All right. Chris Bosh is entitled to his opinion. LeBron James does look rejuvenated, and I think he's an early MVP candidate. Okay. Emphasis on candidate, not saying leader. He's a candidate for MVP, as is Kawhi Leonard. But you got to remember, Even though Leonard does have Raptors roots, he played one season and helped the team win their only championship in his only season with Toronto. So that's a remarkable accomplishment. But Chris Bosh has closer ties, much, much closer ties to LeBron James. So, you know, you can't be too surprised that he's going with going with LeBron James, and the one-on-one matchup is who's better. My thing about the stats and all that, I mean, yeah, LeBron, I think this season right now he's averaging like 26 points. I think he's averaging like 8 rebounds and 10.5 assists. So statistically, he's having arguably one of his better seasons. Uh, you know, but the thing about it is, and this is just me, stats don't tell everything. They don't tell everything. LeBron James generally plays in a system that helps to create these numbers for him. You know, we all say it's the LeBron James system, right? And LeBron James needed a certain team around him to be successful. Whereas Kawhi Leonard can play with the Spurs, he can play with the Raptors, and he's playing with the Clippers. He can adapt to any team, or any system. You just put him on the team, and while the team itself would be a very good team without him, with him, they're that much better. Leonard also isn't a playmaker, although he has been being, with Paul George not there and the fact the Clippers don't really have a point guard, which wasn't the case with Kyle Lowry in Toronto and Tony Parker with the Spurs. He has been being a little bit more of a playmaker so far with the Clippers, and he's working on that aspect of his game. Every year, this guy is improving, like with Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks. All right. So, like I said, it depends on what you look at. Also, I was brought up to look at all great players have to at least be average defenders. You have to at least be a decent defender on the defensive side of the court to be considered an elite player, a great player. That was one of the knocks, if you remember, about Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was never noted for being a great defensive shutdown player. He never was. He had his moments. He gave effort. He wasn't lazy. He just was never a great defensive player. And that was one of the knocks on him. But now in this era, it's like defense is just totally like non-existent, or people don't argue it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like a lost art. It's almost like the stolen base in baseball. People don't steal bases anymore. It's all about the home run or the strikeout or the awesome play, the exciting play. We like all the exciting things, but the little things that contribute to victory, people don't really the grunt work, so to speak. That isn't celebrated anymore. Everybody wants the easy, shortcuts to victory. Building a super team, you know, uh, taking games off and load management and all this other shit, man. Not having to play defense anymore. Just shooting up threes, you know. But the thing about it is this. To me, in my opinion right now, LeBron James is a great player. And in his 17th season, he's having a great year. But in my opinion, Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA, bar none. If Kevin Durant was still playing, maybe this would be a different discussion. But Kevin Durant's not playing this year. And what we see right now, Kawhi Leonard is the best player. Number one, it's not all about your stat line. It's about when you put up those numbers, when you put up those rebounds, get those rebounds, and what type of rebounds you're getting. And also, what type of assists are you making? Kawhi Leonard the other night only shot 9 of 23 from the floor. But every point that he scored in that fourth quarter was critical. All of his points, I think it was 27 points in that game, were critical. Some guys, they might score 30 points. You read the stat sheet and you're like, damn, such and such had 30 points. Damn, I'm going to say a name right quick. Andrew Wiggins had 30 points. But what you won't see, and you'll see that Wiggins shot 14 or 20. You think he's beasting. But what you won't see is that if you watch the game, Andrew Wiggins scored 26 points in the first 3 quarters on 14 of 17 shooting. But he completely disappeared in the fourth quarter. But you'll look at his stat and she'll be like, oh man, he beasted. How did they lose? And then you'll blame the guy who shot 9 of 22, but you don't realize that guy played defense. That guy, helped to keep the margins from becoming a blowout in the fourth quarter. He did more in the fourth quarter down the stretch than Wiggins did, but because you're just reading the stat sheet, you're going to be misinformed. All right. And anyway, at this stage of their careers, Leonard has become the better shooter. He's a better 3-point shooter. He's flirting around 40%. He's become a much better free throw shooter. He's getting close to 90% in the foul line. On defense, years ago, LeBron James, although fundamentally he wasn't the best defensive player, but he gave so much effort on defense. Pat Riley didn't bullshit down there in Miami. All right. LeBron James is still not a really good defensive player, and he's not going to be one now that he's essentially playing point guard. Kawhi Leonard is arguably the best defensive player in the NBA. And when you got a guy that's a top defensive player in the NBA, a top scorer, and the best closer in the NBA, how can you say he's not the best player? The only knock on Kawhi Leonard up until the other day was that, he was missing games. But now that we know that this is a guy that's a warrior, that's playing with a knee injury, and not whining about it and complaining about it and coming to press conference magically with sleeves on his hand or a cast on his a sleeve on his wrist or excuse me on his arm or a cast on his hand all of a sudden and complaining that he was injured the whole time. No, Kawhi Leonard didn't want that out there. He didn't want that information disseminated that he was injured. And, he was taking heat, unnecessary heat. Now, look, this isn't a video of me being critical of LeBron James, but I'm keeping it real. If this was LeBron James, do you think he would have took that unnecessary heat? He would have came out and said, look, I've been playing, I've been playing hurt for a while. I hadn't put it out there because I'm a warrior, but, I've been having a knee injury for the last couple of years, and I just feel like, I need some break. No, Kawhi Leonard didn't put it out there. We've been speculating that, hey, man, this guy, he's not cut like the guys of old. But now that I know he's hurt and he's been playing with knee injury and he still took the Raptors to a championship, and you kind of suspected something was wrong because last year during the playoffs, he started limping around a little bit. And his level of play, while still stellar in the finals, was not quite what it was the first couple of rounds of playoffs. So now we know that this guy probably has some type of chronic knee injury or chronic knee condition. So now, I look at Kawhi Leonard totally different. If you thought I loved this guy before, God damn it, I love the nigga now. He is the epitome of a baller. He's Larry Bird. He's Michael Jordan. He's Kobe Bryant. He's Jerry West. He's Julius Erving. He's Moses Malone. He's all of these motherfuckers combined. There's no debate in my opinion. Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA. Bar motherfucking